Larry Bird was in a league of his own, and once he destroyed a rookie so badly that the player started looking for moving companies mid-game. These are the funniest Larry Bird, welcome to the league stories ever told. But before we begin, make sure to subscribe to our channel if you like more celebrity drama. Larry Bird versus Jayson Williams.
Moss penetrating, dishing off nicely to Barkley, who's fouled. Good play by Moss inside.
It all started with Jayson Williams, a promising rookie fresh into the NBA. You see, Larry wasn't just a basketball player. He was a professional trash talker and someone who would talk with his fists and not his words. By that, we mean that he would shoot the ball so well that he wouldn't even need to fight anyone. While most legends are remembered for their highlight reels, Bird's most devastating moments often happen before the ball even leaves his hands. Every word that came out of his mouth was the epitome of stoicism, and they were just as lethal as some of his best jump shots. But this one game against the Philadelphia 76ers became the absolute legend that even the player that it was against still talks to this date. Jayson Williams learned his lesson the hardest way, and it was something so painful he may never remember. However, today he thinks of it as nothing more than a laughing moment.
My first two games were Michael Jordan and then Larry Bird.
Charles Barkley comes to the game hungover. And Larry Bird goes, Charlie, you've been out all night, right? Here, take this with you. Boom, he starts lightening up Charles Barkley. Give me somebody else. And look at Rick and say,
Come on, Rick, you can't check me. You too big. Boom.
Moreover, all the madness was happening as Larry was destroying another elite player, Charles Barkley. It was just his second league game against the Boston Celtics, and William got an education that no other basketball camp could ever provide. The setup was simple. William came into the game with a swagger of newfound talent, and he just faced Michael Jordan, the president, which was legendary in itself. But now it was time for Larry Bird. So, how difficult could it be if you have faced the best possible player of that time? The answer is soul-crushing hard. Jayson Williams even recalled crying every time Bird would get the chance to show his skills because of how good he was. This is how Daddy Bird destroyed one of the NBA's newest additions. But the next one will shock you because it's something that could break even the most skilled players. And it happened in a sense where the victim's soul was in Larry Bird's hand. The setup.
You've been out all night, right? Here, take this with you. Boom, he starts lightening up Charles Barkley. Gives him about 10 points real quick.
He smelled it on him.
Smelling on him, right? So then he be look over our coach, Jim Lionel, as he backpedaled back Larry Bird. He goes, give me somebody else. So they put in Rick Mahorn, and you look at Rick.
The real chaos started with Charles Barkley, and according to Williams, Barkley showed up to the game absolutely hammered. He even called him blasted during the game. What's worse is that the whole team could smell the alcohol on him like he was some sailor, and that is how Williams actually described it. So, what exactly happened? You see, Barkley was out there celebrating what he thought was going to be a trade to the Lakers, only to find out 2 hours before game time. The Sixers had the game that night, and Barkley was in no such position to even touch the basketball. But that's where it happened. Larry Bird is someone who is hyper-aware of his surroundings. He could even be called an assassin, and he was the first one to notice Barkley's condition. He even told Barkley he had been out all night, and he looked at him, launched the three-pointer right in Barkley's face, and it was done. The three-pointers were going again and again, and Bird wasn't just scoring. He was asserting dominance like no one else did. Right at that point, Charles Barkley was getting commented on over and over again while Bird was questioning his life choices. The Bird would say something like, "Oh, you've been all night, huh?" And then, he would back Barkley down and hit a turnaround jump, only to flex on him. At this point, Larry Bird was literally smelling alcohol while roasting him for dropping points. It was almost like he was playing the whole game in easy mode. This is just one of the areas where you cannot mess with Bird, especially if you're new to the NBA. Further humiliation.
As a player, I know it's like there's moments when you just get deflated. Was that one of those moments you just deflated?
Yeah, it was one of those moments because, you know, we lost to Boston like 9 straight times in Boston.
By then, Philadelphia coach Jim Lynam knew he had a huge issue. He knew that Barkley was getting destroyed, and Bird was enjoying every single second of it. Here's what happened. The coach made a substitution. he brought Rick Mahorn, who was one of the toughest yet most physical players in the league, and was supposed to have his shining moment against the overpowered trash talker Larry Bird. Now, Rick Mahorn was no slouch. He was standing at a whopping 6'10" of height with 260 pounds of pure muscle, and Bird, instead of getting intimidated, told him that he would need to make 2 trips in order to check him, and he wouldn't be able to check him at all. But as always, Bird proceeded to prove his trash talk by backing Mahorn down, hitting a fadeaway, and telling him that he can't check his way to bed. This wasn't even basketball anymore. This was more humiliation than was going on.
Guarded by Ballard. Ballard goes to him. Now they go to Henderson. Blocked by Mahorn and a foul by Mahorn. I'll tell you, not Henderson, but Maxwell would slam him to the floor.
And from there, he kept scoring again and again till the pressure got to the opposing team. Armon Gilliam versus Larry Bird. Today, Armon Gilliam talks highly about BIRD, especially the time when he said that Larry could potentially beat LeBron.
If you want to go Jokic versus Larry Bird in their prime.
Yeah, so that would be Larry Bird.
Yeah, because he's just a more skilled, do you think, player on the court, one-on-one?
He was built more of a one. Larry Bird would probably beat LeBron one-on-one.
Really? Larry Bird would beat LeBron
One-on-one?
James one-on-one.
But in this particular game, Bird had a special insult ready for him too. According to William, the story goes like this. Bird would look at Gilliam and say, "Come on, are you still colorblind? Bring yourself out of here."
Bird off the fake beats Gilliam. Celtics 6, 76ers 4.
Not only was this a direct attack on the legend, but it was both devastating and absurd at the same time. Williams even joked that Gilliam would hold the ball so much because he literally didn't know which team his teammates were on. This is also the main reason why he kept getting traded. Whether that was true or just a locker room joke, it didn't matter because Bird weaponized it against him. Remember, early in the video, we said that Larry destroyed William? Well, now we are going to get deeper into that whole game. But before we begin, do subscribe to our channel if you are looking for more videos like these. After humiliating Armon Gilliam, Larry Bird told them to bring their rookie in. Till this point, William was just sitting away waiting for the right chance, and now he had gotten the chance. And this is where the story reaches its legendary peak. William was sitting on the bench, watching Bird destroying every defender the Sixers threw at him. William was young, burning with fire, but at the same time a bit foolish because he kept telling his coaches to put him on the team.
Put me in, coach. I want him. So he's lighting it up on him again, and he struts back like only Larry Bird can do.
It was before this whole destruction that Larry Bird heard William, and he held such a big grudge that he actually wanted to beat him. After scoring on another Sixers defender, Bird looked directly at the Philadelphia bench and told Jim to put his rookie in. Finally, it was Williams' chance to shine on his debut. But this is where his education began. The education started. William entered the game full of confidence and immediately started talking. If he wants to bring it, he should bring it. That's where Bird just gave him a simple pump fake, and William, who, according to him, could jump incredibly high back in those days, bit on the fake so hard that he jumped completely over Bird's head. This was legendary in itself. But when Williams came back to earth, he looked at him and called him a stupid rookie. Then scored a three-pointer right in his face. If it were any other rookie, they would be destroyed by now. But Williams wasn't ready to give up yet. He remembered looking at Larry, thinking, okay, that's one, but he didn't know what was coming up next.
Bach watching this, right? So I'm like, okay, the next time I'm just gonna play him this way, I'm not gonna jump. And he's laughing, his third goes, "You're not gonna jump against the Birdman?" Whap!
William grew up on the Lower East Side of New York, and he saw Larry Bird destroying one of his favorite childhood heroes, Julius Erving. The neighborhood was divided by a Manhattan Bridge. The Irish and Italian fans lived in one section who loved Bird, and the black and brown communities on the other side loved Dr. Julius. Every time Bird beat Erving, young Jayson Williams would cry. But now, things would be changed because he was already in the NBA, trying to make a name for himself while ensuring that he avenged his childhood hero. It was as simple as something like Mike avenging Allie against Larry Holmes. The guy was ready, locked and loaded. But little did he know, he wasn't Mike Tyson. And Bird wasn't Larry Holmes for sure. 6 points in 25 seconds. On the next possession, William decided that this time he wouldn't jump and wouldn't be baited by Larry Bird's fake pump. This was probably the smartest move he could make, right? Well, you're dead wrong. Because Bird looked at him and simply said, "If he's not gonna jump, then it's game over for him." Hidden calmly did another three-pointer that ended up crushing Williams's heart. He looked at Larry Bird and thought it was just 6 points in 25 seconds, and now he was alone there, figuring out what he shouldn't do next. He even tried to compromise there and did his half jump, which was a weird defensive stance that made him look like a weirdo. Even this stance didn't work because Bird simply crossed him and hit another shot while drawing a foul in the process. 9 points with 3 straight attempts. William was dying out there. He took it so hard to heart that he started thinking maybe he shouldn't even play basketball anymore. He even said that at that point, something that his dad said about him being a brick mason should have been true, and that he really wasn't that skilled in basketball. This is the moment that separates Larry Bird from all the other trash talkers in the history of sports. Here, William wasn't just getting scored, but he was getting his mind played with. In desperation, Williams tried one last strategy. He told Bird, "Challenge him directly so that he can't take him in the post." This was Williams's other mistake because challenging Larry Bird only made him more focused. And this was the perfect display of how. Now Bird called for the ball in the post, backed Williams down like he was just a little kid, and hit a turnaround jumper with 10 points on 4 consecutive tries. And according to William himself, he thought about nothing more than suicide due to how beaten he was mentally, physically, and spiritually. He even started thinking about moving companies like Mayflower, which was a popular and famous moving service. He thought that after this beating, he must move out of his neighborhood. Williams even said the only thing here that could have saved his ego was a physical confrontation with Larry Bird. And this is how Larry Bird's welcome to the league moment with Jay Williams remains one of the funniest, wildest stories in NBA history. Do you think anyone from the Philadelphia 76 heiress could have defeated Larry in that era? Let us know in the comments below. If you want more videos like these, do subscribe to our channel and ring the bell icon for more.